Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a literally game-changing framework for corporate training from Dr. Ray Jimenez called Microlearning for Disruptive Results. Look, if you've ever sat through a corporate training session and felt like it was just a massive drain on your time or, realized you forgot absolutely everything the very next day, well, you are definitely not alone. We're going to explore exactly why the old textbook model of training is completely broken, and more importantly, how we can actually fix it by radically changing how we deliver information. So let's dive right in.
I want you to just think about this number for a second, 1%. According to some pretty startling research from Deloitte, employees have barely 1% of their typical workweek to dedicate to training and development. Let's put that into perspective. In a standard 40-hour workweek, that is a mere 24 minutes. That's it. If we're trying to cram these massive hour-long or multi-day training modules into a schedule that is impossibly tight, we are fundamentally setting our learners up to fail before they even start.
Actually, scratch that, it gets worse. The problem isn't just the lack of time, it's that our biology is literally changing in this hyper-connected modern world. As the BBC highlighted way back in 2014, the average human attention span had already dropped to 59.5 seconds. And yeah, it has only continued to decline since then. Traditional, long-form training is just completely incompatible with a workforce whose attention is fractured by constant notifications, emails, and, immediate problem-solving demands. We're fighting a losing battle against human nature if we don't adapt.
So, how do we overcome this? Well, here is our agenda for today's explainer. First, the modern learning crisis. Second, defining microlearning. Third, working versus full competency. Fourth, learning by oops. And finally, designing microlearning stories. Section 1, the modern learning crisis, information overload. The data here paints a super clear picture of learner frustration. Only 38% of employees feel they actually have access to effective learning at work. Over half, 58%, are practically begging for shorter lessons. And here is the real kicker. It takes a full 40 to 50 minutes to relearn material if it isn't reinforced. The old model is just incredibly wasteful. But look at the flip side. Just-in-time learning, getting the exact answer exactly when you need it, is up to 7 times more effective. Learners are basically demanding bite-sized content right at their moment of need. Section 2, defining microlearning, the antidote. So Dr. Ray Jimenez defines microlearning not just as shorter training, but as a completely different paradigm built on 4 absolutely core tenets. It's got to be low effort, easy, fast, and applied quickly. He introduces this brilliant concept of microactions. These microactions are the absolute tiniest, fastest form of learning. We aren't trying to teach a whole sprawling subject here. We're teaching a single, immediate action that solves a direct problem in real time. Section 3, working versus full competency, what to teach now. Okay, so if we only have 1% of a work week and less than a minute of attention, how on earth do instructional designers cut through the fluff and find the crucial material? Well, here is a massive paradigm shift. Only a tiny slice, about 5 to 20% of your content, represents working competency. That's the stuff an employee must study right now to actually do their job. The vast majority, the other 80 to 95%, is full competency, which is really just reference material. Traditional training tries to teach 100% of this up front, totally overwhelming the learner. Microlearning, it focuses strictly on that tiny 5 to 20% slice.
Let's break that binary difference down a bit more, because this is super important. Working competency is all about immediate application. It's the critical, high-value tasks that help you avoid critical incidents and errors right now, today, on the job floor. Full competency, on the other hand, includes all your deep policies, your detailed guides, your massive rule lists. The big takeaway? Stop forcing employees to memorize the 95% reference material. Put that stuff in a searchable database and build your microlearning strictly around the immediate tasks that prevent disaster.
Section 4, learning by oops, the bang, bang, bingo process.
Think about a pencil and its eraser. As adults, we really don't naturally learn by sitting passively while someone just lectures at us. We learn by trying something, messing it up, and correcting it. It's that oops moment. Making mistakes is fundamentally how we process, retain, and internalize new information. Dr. Jimenez argues that effective microlearning actually embraces and leverages these mistakes rather than punishing them. Let's look at a real-world scenario from the source material to vividly show what this looks like. Imagine 2 coders facing a problem on their screen. One says, Okay, we've changed greater than to greater than or equal to, but that doesn't work either. And now, you can feel the struggle, right? This is the natural friction of trying to solve a problem on the job. They are squarely in the oops phase. But they keep at it. One of them suggests, let's try less than. They're adapting, they're iterating. Dr. Jimenez calls this the bang, bang, then bingo process. You try something, bang, it fails. You try something else, bang, it fails again. Then you make an adjustment based directly on those failures and bingo, you have the solution. So the absolutely crucial point here is that this messy trial and error behavior isn't a sign of poor learning. It is literally the engine of genuine understanding. Even in strict scientific procedures, you're essentially doing bang, bang, bingo by testing hypotheses and eliminating what doesn't work. Microlearning should simulate this. Instead of just handing the learner the bingo answer right away, we need to let them experience the bang, bang so the final answer actually sticks in their brain for good.
Section 5, Designing Microlearning Stories, Making it Stick.
So how do instructional designers actually build a module around these organic oops moments? The secret is creating a story. Think about the difference between real events and consequences versus just explaining. Real events are high experience, they're emotional, and they have real stakes attached. Just explaining things is your typical passive classroom. It's low experience and highly abstract. If you want a learner to grasp and remember something in a 59-second attention span window, you can't just dryly explain it. You gotta drop them into a scenario with real emotional consequences, like showing an OSHA audit going horribly wrong or a critical boiler breaking down. Here is Dr. Jimenez's clear chronological methodology for crafting one of these micro-lesson stories. Step 1, the event. You start immediately with conflict and crisis. Hook the learner emotionally with an oops moment. Step 2, embed content. Now, seamlessly insert the working competency, the policy or the correct action, as the natural solution to that exact crisis. Step 3, ask questions. Conclude by asking the learner to reflect on or apply what they just saw to their own daily tasks. This rapidly transitions them from being passive viewers into active problem solvers. Which brings us to the end of our explainer, but before we go, I want to leave you with this thought-provoking question drawn directly from our source text. Think about your own workflow, your own recent mistakes, and your own successes. What have you learned lately using the principle of learning by oops? It's a pretty powerful framework, isn't it? By focusing strictly on that crucial 5 to 20% of working competency, keeping it blazingly fast, and truly embracing that messy bang bang bingo process, we can completely transform how we learn and perform. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Go out there, apply these micro-learning principles, and hey, keep embracing those oops moments.